Hello Sunshine, and welcome to your first Transformational Tea Time. Before we get started, if you want to pause the video, grab your favorite mug, pop some tea or coffee into that bad boy and get cozy, that would be amazing. So I do want to start off this video with a little inspiration for you from our Yogi Tea quote of the day, and that is, people who love are giving. So I really love those quotes, and I always seek those quotes out when I'm having a rough day. So that is just seemed very fitting with the conversation that we're going to have over the next few weeks, and hopefully we can continue this conversation. But I really want to thank you for showing up for yourself today, and thank you for allowing me to show up for myself and for you, and to just guide you through some of my coping skills that I use for my mental health, and just some meditation that I utilize as well, and just to really have a one-on-one conversation. But this is your haven, this is my haven, and we are sharing it together. So get somewhere where you can take notes. I have my bullet journal here with my affirmations that I'm going to share with you, and then I've got some cards that I'm also going to pull, just one inspirational card, and it is from the Super Attractor deck by Gabrielle Bernstein. So I think that'll be a great sum up of the talk. So I want to start off by saying that, I'm not going to focus on my diagnoses when I'm talking, but I do want to share at least, with what I was diagnosed with that's affecting me definitely day to day. So my first diagnosis was a diagnosis of major depression disorder, and then I also was diagnosed later on with generalized anxiety disorder, and I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. So those are a culmination of things, and also, PTSD is a form of an anxiety disorder, so that can cause a lot of, it's a kind of a gray area right now, and I know that OCD is another anxiety disorder, and there's just quite a few. So, but anyway, so those are the few that I deal with, and one of my therapists that I used to go to, I saw her like twice. She wanted to talk about how I could possibly have a panic disorder, but I didn't connect with her very well, and so I just didn't see the need in labeling another disorder when I, honestly have tons of coping mechanisms under my belt. So I call it the mental health toolbox, and I have a lot of them. So I've been in therapy since I was 7. So from ages 7, and then up until I was about 19, 20. I'm probably getting my ages wrong, but I saw the same therapist, and she was absolutely wonderful. And then I was hospitalized within, I think, 2 or 3 months of each other. So December of 2016, or October of 2016, and then December of 2016, I went in 2 separate times. And that is where I got my PTSD diagnosis, and that was a life changer. So I had a lot of help throughout the years, going through some childhood trauma, and going through divorce and loss of loved ones, and just a culmination of things that I think, we all, our pain is our pain, as I like to say, and, it's not just, oh, that person has a greater pain than I do. Your pain, honor yourself in that, because, you are hurting. So I ended up going through, after my hospitalizations, I ended up, going into recovery, and that was a long journey, and I still, utilize that word a lot, because I think I'm always going to be recovering from what I had to deal with as a child, and just over the years, not just childhood, but other things that happen. So lately I have had the word honor and then the word acceptance come to me, and I think those are so important in our mental health journey. But not only in that, in just our day-to-day journey, is that we need to show up for ourselves and honor ourselves where we are. And have goals, yes, but if where you are today is that you got out of bed and you didn't make your bed, but you ate breakfast that day and, sat and read a book, but you still had a continuous anxiety, at least you showed up for yourself the way that you knew how, and you honored yourself. So I want to reiterate how important it is to honor yourself where you are and be patient with yourself and just aware. And mindfulness is so important in mental health and throughout our spiritual journeys, just throughout our life. And we're not always given the opportunity to be mindful and have all those tools thrown at us when we're a kid. If we are, that is really awesome. And that was just really neat. So hopefully when I have kids, I'll be able to share with them mindfulness and awareness. And then, I think that gratitude is a huge, huge thing for me lately, and I've not always been practicing my gratitude the way that I do now. I have a gratitude journal that I practice in, and I try to say that I am grateful when I'm in, my anxiety moments, or even when I'm in my depressive moments. And, right now I'm dealing with anxiety a little more, and panic attacks to the extreme. And, that's just the real. That's what I'm dealing with. And I never want to sugarcoat it and make it seem like I've totally healed and that I don't have panic attacks and I don't have triggers from PTSD, because I always will. But I have so much under my mental health tool belt that I need to utilize. And so I'm coming on here and sharing with you to encourage me to utilize it as well. And these are things that have worked for me for many years, but I've just been more cognizant of using them. And I guess I see myself as a little bit more worthy than I have in a long time. So, another thing is, and this is the most basic thing that I'm probably going to say, at least in this video, is your thoughts do not define you. So I do think we need to honor our emotions, but those don't define you either. You need to honor how you're feeling, right? You don't want to just think, well, I'm stupid for feeling that way. But our thought of us being stupid, that doesn't define us. We aren't stupid, right? So you want to take that irrational thought that you have, and it could be a mild irrational thought to a very extreme thought that people are like, oh my goodness, what in the world is this person doing? And we've all had them. You can't sit here and say that you haven't. I sure have, so raise your hand if you have. But those are not you. Your thoughts are not you. The essence of who you are is not even this body. And whatever you believe in, whatever, again, I want to say whatever resonates with you, take it. So whatever I say, if it resonates with you, take it. If it doesn't, leave it at the door and move on. If there's one thing that resonates with you in this little chat, cool. That is all that I prayed for and meditated on before this and call myself for. So I do want to share my first tip and my first tool that I use in my mental health toolbox, and it is a vital one, is breathing and cycle breathing. So I do want to take you all through a little journey of my cycle breathing that I do. This is like one of many that I do, and I kind of just mix it with what I'm going through that day, what anxiety I'm having, if it's extreme panic, if it's stemming from a post-traumatic stress flare-up, if it's a self-esteem flare-up, if it's a eating disorder flare-up, a self-harming one. I kind of move it a little bit differently. So you take this cycle breathing example and you make it how you want. But when we're in a state of anxiety or a state of panic, we are in fight or flight mode. And we've got to center. We have to be the anchor. So, in my experience, and I'm not a mental health professional, but I have had years of navigating through it, and some years where I left and just navigated through it myself. And so I want to just share what has worked for me. And I know it's worked for my friends too, because we've talked about it. We've had endless conversations filled with tears, and this is one of the greatest things that has saved me through a lot of panic attacks or brought me out of huge panic attacks. And so I do want to kind of go over just a little bit of like a meditation cycle breathing thing. I don't know, however we vibe. But so I do want to give you our affirmations before I get into the example of the meditation and cycle breathing and the awareness that we're getting ready to do. So, and I think I'm going to say this throughout the meditation as well. I'm really just wanting to let source, the universe, guide me through it. So our first one, and this one is so hard for me to practice. I feel when you have anxiety and you're having a panic attack, you were like up in your head, right? You feel high on, it's just like you're not even there. You're not even there. You're not even centered in your body. You're in a whole other dimension, and you don't know how to ground. And the thing is you are an anchor. You are the light vessel, and you can, but you need to find the ways to assist that process. So one affirmation that is huge and that I try to say day to day is, I am safe and secure in my mind, my body, and my spirit. So I am safe and secure in my mind, my body, and my spirit. And you can take that and utilize it throughout the week, or whenever you have panic attacks, you can take, words out or make it your own. I encourage that, actually. Another one that I just recently found from a poet, and her name is Cleo Wade, is, I am deserving of my healing. And that has been a huge affirmation for me, that, I feel like I have healed for so long, and then sometimes I get into this rut where I'm tired of healing and I don't think I deserve it, and that has a lot to do with self-esteem issues that I still have to work through, and that's a huge thing for me. But I am deserving of my healing, and that just speaks volumes to me, because you are so deserving of your healing, your light, your love. You are the essence of that love, of that light, and you deserve to heal those wounds, however you find that it is healthy that you do that. And again, I just said this one, but I honor my emotions, but I do not let them define me. I honor my emotions, but I do not let them define me. Or it could be, I am aware of my emotions. And awareness, be grateful for that awareness, but do not let that define you, because you are not your thoughts. You are not the emotions. You are that light vessel within you that is far more than your trauma, far more than any hurt, any hurtful word that somebody said, any realm of abuse. You're way more than that. And so anyway, again, when I get in a state of a panic attack, so they range. So my therapist that I'm just now seeing I had my first session with her. It was a telemed, and she's on BetterHelp. So I'm trying that out, and I'm excited about it because I haven't consistently seen a therapist in a few years. And if you're somebody like me who has seen one since they were 7 years old, that is kind of hard and a shock to the system. But I do like what she said the other day, and this was something that I've thought of. We used to rate our scale of anxiety or depression rate our anxiety or depression on a scale of 1 to 10. And honestly, you do that. We've done that since we were probably in kindergarten, rate the pain on a scale of 1 to 10. And so yesterday, and lately it's been a continual state of anxiety. So typically through the day, it's like a 4, which seems great. But that means I'm 40% in a state of anxiety throughout the whole day. I don't really feel lately like I've been at a state that's 10%, and it goes to 100, 0 to 100 real quick. But in my when I have an extreme panic attack where I have shallow breathing, heart palpitations, and I'm really just zoning out and freaking out, and it's borderline. A lot of times for me, it goes into my post-traumatic stress flare-ups, and I'm going to talk about triggers as well, but not in this one. I just wanted to start this off kind of easy and really just guided for a meditation and breath work. But mine was 40 yesterday, and then I ended up later on in the day having to take it to 8, which was 80%, and just a lot of worry, and we're in that uncertain time right now, and it's a lot. We don't even know what's going to happen to the next day. And for somebody with mental health, and especially if you don't have an outlet, and that is why honestly I'm creating this right now, is to guide you and have an outlet for myself, but honor you all, because some of you don't have an outlet, some of you don't have the ability to go to a therapist, and I am not a therapist, so don't see me as that, but I am a friend who is here for you. And anyway, so I say I get in my worst panic attack, or maybe even mid-range to worst. And my breath, it's not that we're losing oxygen. We're literally, the carbon dioxide amount that's going out, we have to control that breath. We have to anchor in, and we are the anchor. We are the vessel, so we can do that. We are so friggin' powerful, and we don't feel powerful in that moment. So what I like to do, and for now, I like the number 3. So we'll breathe together 3 times, and I'll just walk you through that and the power of 3. I just think that's a wonderful number. But I actually count to 4 when I breathe in, and however long your panic is, you continue on with that breath work, right? So today we're just gonna, to save time and to save your ears from hearing me, we're just gonna do the power of 3. And so breathing in for 4, holding it for 4, and out for 4 3 times. And I want you to really, really think about how much air you're filling up in your gut and how much you fully release it. Like, you want to release all of that anxiety and trauma out into the world. Like, take this away and it will evaporate. But if you keep it in, it's not going to. It's not going to heal. And you deserve that healing, right? So you're going to breathe in, so deep that you feel it, in your diaphragm and your gut, and it's just going to fill that up. Your belly's going to expand, and it's powerful how our bodies do that. And then we're going to fully release it and let nothing stop us. We're just going to let it all out. We don't want any negativity by the end of this practice, right? Or even just a percentage. We just want that gone. So if you want to put your left hand or whatever hand you want on your heart, and then one on your diaphragm or your stomach area, and feel your little belly, and then you can close your eyes or whatever. And when I was in high school, I was in color guard, and my coach had us do yoga, and that's kind of my first entry into yoga and how I found breath work to be important. And I didn't really start utilizing that. So shout out to you, David, for gifting us with that knowledge. But I didn't start utilizing that until a little bit later on. But the seed was planted, and that is amazing. So I have always, people describe it as, you think of a white light like coming into your body and going down and hitting that root chakra, which is at the base here, which makes you grounded. And it goes through all of your chakras, right? But for some reason, I've twisted it as this beautiful, like, angelic vine of flowers, obviously, going in my body. So it blooms, and it just creates this beauty inside of me, and it makes me feel powerful. So whatever color, whatever light energy, whatever you see that's positive going in and out of your body, if you want to physically see yourself breathing the light in that you deserve, and then pouring out like a negative energy and that's leaving you forever, cool. But I just like to keep it as light as possible, and it turns into flowers for me. So I don't know. But if you want to put your left hand or whatever hand you want near that little heart center, and then one hand on your stomach. And if you want to just close your eyes with me, and we're going to breathe in for 4, hold for 4, and out for 4. So again. One more time. That is how I do it, okay? So, and I could sit there and do my breathing exercises for a whole hour. However long it takes, I honor myself in that. And I don't get mad. I used to, and sometimes I still do. I can't lie to you. Like, I still get irritated that I can't fix it real quick. And sometimes we just have to show up for ourselves for hours, You have to show up for yourself always, but utilize that breath work for as long as you need. So, anyway, that is powerful to me. Breath is life, and you are life, and you are love, and you are light. And we need to be able to center ourselves in those times where we go up in the air. You know, I'm a Pisces, and so I'm very watery and very dreamer-like, and so I'm always dreaming and up in the air. And so that causes, on top of the mental health, I just feel like my spaciness and my dreaminess caused me to go to like crazy town sometimes, just getting up there and thinking about things that I can't even control. That's for another day. But to just breathe and allow and imagine myself with that beautiful floral vine going in, and just releasing every bit of trauma, every bit of negative energy that has come into my body over the years. If there's some residual pain coming in, that is a reminder. You're just so important, and you deserve, again, that healing. And so, you know, I encourage you, during my meditations, I, sit crisscross, applesauce, however you feel. And however you want your hands, if you want them on your body during the breathing, if you want your left hand, receiving hand, out to receive the energy that's coming in, and then this hand on the ground to ground you. There are so many different things. If you want to put both hands here to put pressure, not like, hitting yourself, but to put pressure to make you feel centered even more. If you want to lie down, however it is you show up and you honor yourself, and I can't speak that enough. So I am just so grateful for you all for being here and joining me in this journey. I know I ramble, but I did want to share this little tidbit with you, and maybe we'll do a meditation sometime, but I said I was going to do a meditation, and I just feel like it would be cool to do a whole video dedicated to meditation. But I do have my cards here, and they're just from the book that I read called Super Attractor. Here's a little box. It is so cute. I love the moon. Everybody knows that. And I am going to I already shuffled and prayed over them. I'm just going to pull one for you all, and I really hope that you continue to show up for yourself in any way, whether that's joining in and watching these videos, or making your bed in the morning, or sitting up and doing your breathing when you start out the day. I want you to honor yourself, because it took me a long time to get there, and it still is really hard for me to honor myself daily. And today I didn't want to get on this video, and I honestly didn't feel like I was worthy enough to share. But then I had that thing, is I always say, when I was in the pits of my suicidal ideation and just a lot of unhealed trauma, before I had my diagnosis of PTSD, there were so many people there for me, and there could be somebody at the store, right, at Meijer or Walmart or Kroger or wherever you shop, Whole Foods, and they smile at you, and they don't even know. I mean, maybe they do, maybe they're psychic, I have no idea, but they don't even know what you're going through, and that smile could save you. I mean, and not to put that on anybody, but I'm telling you, one smile can make somebody's whole entire day. And just, I want to be that, and I want you to be that for other people when you're ready, and when you're ready to heal. So I can't stress enough, utilize your therapist. Find a therapist if you don't have one. Like I said, I'm doing this whole BetterHelp thing, and I'm trying that out, and that's something new for me. But do a spiritual practice if you are spiritual, if you're religious, whatever it is. I'm more spiritual, and I try to meditate and pray and let that guide me, and let the light guide me, and the holy angels and the universe and all of that. So anyway, I'm going to shuffle these little cards, and I did meditate over them earlier, so whoever needs this will have it, and this might just be for me, but I really think that one of you out here is going to have this little message. Sure. Okay, well, that's the card. Interesting. It's probably backwards, but this one says, I let the universe catch up with my dreams. So there's a lot happening right now, and again, comes back to the honoring. Like, your dreams matter, your healing matters. And so if one of your dreams is to heal some trauma, heck yeah, the universe is honoring that for you. You should honor it in yourself. And if one of your dreams is to start a business, if one of your dreams is to write a book, start a coffee shop, go to college, whatever, whatever it is, the universe is honoring that. And so thank you just for showing up today and transforming a little with me, because this is really what it's about, is creating that haven and transforming together. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I am going to finish off my tea here, and just remember that it all comes back to light and love.